Rain allowance. Why Indian man's weird question during job interview was a fair ask. A candidate put forth his expectations when an interviewer asked him about what he looked for in the company. He had anticipated a rain allowance that allowed him to use ride-hailing apps, fares of which shoot up during the monsoon season. While asking for the rain pay, the candidate provided the screener with additional options. Either he could log in from home or arrive late at work. The interviewer, taken aback by the unusual ask, looked back at the interaction only to conclude that the job applicant's expectations weren't completely out of the blue or unfounded. Speaking about their weird interview experience, the interviewer took to Reddit's Our Indian Workplace and shared what unfolded in their brief meeting for a vacancy. Met an applicant yesterday and I screened him. When asked about his expectations, he said he needs rain allowance, and I was confused. Sick, wrote the OP. The user shared that the candidate expected an allowance for showing up during the inconvenient days of rain that invariably led to waterlogged roads and never-ending traffic. Explained, he need extra pay for monsoon months. I told him there's no such policy, and why he is asking for that. Sick, the Reddit user wrote before adding, he said he uses a lobber to come to office and their fare go rocket high when there's rain or water clogged on roads. He even gave me some alt. Either he needs work from home on rainy days, or he should be allowed to come late. Sick, this left the interviewer Reddit user flabbergasted. Assuming that the candidate wasn't interested, the interviewer asked him just that. The candidate responded in a positive but asserted that he had spent an additional amount in July due to heavy rain, which surged his monthly cab expenses. Thought he isn't interested and asked him if he's really interested. He said yes, he's interested, but that's essential as he calculated his last month's travel expense and it's just double because it was raining heavily in July. And to prove his point, he even asked me if I use Uberla to come office. I said yes. And he said you can try calculating your expense and compare it to normally other months. Sit. Also read man's post on migrant workers amid stray dog debate viral. Why internet rounded up elites. The interviewer mentioned that the candidate was respectful during the entire interaction and sounded genuine. Those who came across the OP's post voiced that the interviewee's expectation of a rain allowance was a fair ask in today's day and age. That's a very fair ask. WFH during rains is a nominal ask if you don't reimburse cab fares, wrote one. IT is new but fair ask. And ideally, if WFH is possible, then during bad weather days it should be accepted by company. More WFH means less traffic on road, less jams and more energy in people. Employees. Sick, added a second. Others added that if the company wasn't dispensing rain allowances, then they could retain the candidate by incorporating a hybrid model with a flexible work-from-home WFH policy. Another expressed that the candidate exhibited good analytical skills and attention to detail, making him an ideal hire. Delhi NCR. The capital city faced relentless downpour during the Raksha Bandhan weekend that dampened the spirits of siblings traveling home for the festival. The heavy downpour led to traffic disruptions and heavy congestion in several areas across the city. Gurugram. Deaths during the chaotic monsoon rains in July. 5 people reportedly succumbed to death, with 3 of them dying due to electric shock in separate incidents. The victims included a graphic designer, a security guard, an auto rickshaw driver, and 2 workers. Death in Dausa. Swipe left for next video. In a separate yet horrific incident, an elderly man drowned in the waterlogged streets of Dausa, Rajasthan, in July. The incident caused statewide outrage as it was alleged that the government agencies failed to show up which was when the locals took matters into their own hands and carried the lifeless body. When no officials arrived at the scene, an ambulance allegedly showed up, but it stopped at a distance and did not have a stretcher. A resident bore the weight of the body on his shoulder, with parts of it dragging along the ground. A video of this was shot and circulated, which angered T.